Hello everyone, a short but interesting video here of a Russian showing the aftermath of a strike on his position. I'm going to play it in full without me talking.
Вот у нас был момент такой прилета большой ракеты. Может Storm Shadow, может даже даже не знаю, вот что остается после таких вот больших ракет. Вот такая вот ямочка, смотрите, очень глубокая яма. Вот что осталось после этого. Просто щепки разнесли. А сколько пацанов распидорасило вообще.
So, he's showing a massive impact crater among the rubble of a destroyed building, speculating that it was storm shadow. He shows that the building it hit was blown to pieces, and he also mentions many guys being torn apart by this. So this strike did cause casualties. He seems quite impressed at the missile, maybe because it actually hit the target, unlike Russia's junk, and more importantly, hit a military target rather than a hospital or school. Now, to me, this isn't Storm Shadow. That crater is far too big to be Storm Shadow. Plus, it looks like it actually landed next to the target building rather than hitting it directly, but the blast being big enough to cause a big enough explosion to destroy the nearby building and the occupiers. And as we've seen in the past, Storm Shadow is usually very accurate. Storm Shadow has a 450 kilogram warhead, which I don't think would cause a crater this size. So I think, and this is just my idea on this one, but we're looking at the aftermath of a Flamingo strike here. Flamingo has a much heavier warhead, 1,150 kilograms, so over double the size of Storm Shadow. And when we have seen past Flamingo strikes, we have seen photos and videos and satellite imagery showing very large and deep craters like this one. I can't think of any other Ukrainian missile with a warhead big enough for a crater like this. Neptune's warhead is smaller than Storm Shadow, between 150 to 260 kilograms, depending on variant. ATACMS roughly the same. So unless Ukraine has something new, I think this has to be Flamingo here. If so, then hopefully this means Ukraine has fixed its accuracy issues. Since the past few times we've seen confirmed Flamingo strikes, it was very hit or miss. Here, even though it wasn't a direct hit on the buildings, it was right next to the target buildings and managed to knock them down and destroy them. Now, no actual location was given for this one, but we can narrow it down a bit. This strike was reportedly on Russia's 57th Brigade, and we know they operated in the Hulaypol region, shown here. Now, this does seem a bit close to the Ukrainian front lines for a Flamingo strike, which does have a long range. But if Ukraine wanted this place levelled, and with limited long-range strike options, it's very possible that Flamingo was elected to do the job. If this was a command post or similar, which it seems to be, then I'd imagine it would be around 30 to 40 kilometres away from the front lines, which means that there may be officers which were buried in this rubble as well. That is assuming this was further back from the front lines. I guess we can't rule out AASM Hammer or JDAM or another glide bomb here if this is near the front. But I do get the impression this was a headquarters further back beyond the front lines, given how at ease the guy recording is, rather than a building occupied by Russian forces or drone operators right near the front lines. And that's typically where we see hammer strikes. At most, I believe we've seen hammer hit around 5 to 8 kilometres from the front lines. Plus, hammer is extremely accurate. I've only seen one hammer miss. The rest of the time it hits the target bang on. And again, this one looks to have landed next to the target building. Plus, the damage looks too severe to be a hammer. So I'm still inclined to think this was Flamingo. And of course, the person recording, who presumably was there at the time of the strike, does say it was a rocket or missile that hit this. So I imagine he heard the sound of it approaching and that sort of thing. And Storm Shadow or Flamingo and cruise missiles like that do have a very distinctive sound. So I definitely do think this is the aftermath of a Flamingo here. It's the only missile which I could think would cause a crater like that and that sort of thing. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much and take care, everybody.